What about NFTs?
What about NFTs?
How are those taxed? What am I supposed to do with all my NFTs?
So NFTs are interesting. We know that in crypto is viewed as an intangible asset, so it's property. So an NFT will be viewed as property. I could then give you lots of technical terminology that applies in the tax code about what is virtual currency. And what is a digital asset and determine whether it's going to be applicable to an NFT. There's no great answer for that right now. So I would just say it's property. And therefore, again, if you're creating an NFT and you sell it, that's no different than you basically being an artist or you being a musician and you're selling your goods into something tangible or intangible, if you will, that someone buys on the NFT marketplace, and that income becomes taxable to you. The person who buys that property, right, because it's now been sort of reduced in code into a property right, and therefore resells it. That's also gain or loss now with respect to property. So I'm talking about core basic tax
Hmm.
principles. So that'll be taxable as well. And then if there's a royalty paid to the initial creator, because down in the smart contract, something was written, which is kind of unique to NFT, so that the original creator is still compensated down the road for what that person did, that similarly is also going to be subject to tax. And that is just a royalty, just like you'd earn a royalty for writing a piece of music or creating something.
So the creator would be taxed on the royalties they receive. If I buy and sell an NFT and part of that sale goes to the creator, can I deduct that from my tax burden? I guess I didn't receive that value. It went straight to the creator, so that wouldn't count for my tax burden. Okay, I see how this gets confusing, by the way, but the high level here is, as you say, NFTs are property. They're treated generally the exact same way Bitcoin and Ethereum are treated. You have a cost basis when you buy it, you have a profit or loss when you sell it, and you pay on the gain or the loss.
Yeah, I would say as a tax person, I would say BTC is like a type of store of value. So one of the examples that people make is that NFTs might be viewed as collectibles. Collectibles are taxed differently than other capital assets.
Oh,
So
got it.
they're
Okay.
subject to, so that there might be a variation on a theme, but fundamentally it's property. And so yes,
Yeah.
the gain associated with property is taxable.
Now, I can honestly take this conversation and go off the rails with it, and we can go really deep in this rabbit hole and talk about all the ways it's possible and all the hiccups and challenges they're going to face. But bringing it back, I think the important thing to me is, look, we're going to find solutions to this, and we're going to make it consumer friendly, and it's probably going to be a reasonable sort of, again, actually, the initial point too is, look, if you're actually taxed on crypto at the end of the year, it's a good thing because it means you made money, right? It means you actually, your balance sheet expanded. It means, the set of value that you own is increased, right? So if you actually do own tax, it's a good thing. And at the end of the day, down the road, we're going to figure out a way to make this super easy. It already is much easier today, but it'll get even easier over time.
You remind my mom used to say when I would complain about taxes, if I ever did that, she said that is a blessing. You're blessed to have that problem.
It reminds me
So
a little bit of
yeah,
Calvin and Hobbes, where Calvin's dad would always say, it builds character. Like, don't worry about the stuff you have to do, just builds character. Yeah, taxes build character too, but it's also a blessing. I can get it. All right. Lawrence, I want to switch gears. Let's talk about misconceptions. A lot of
okay.
misconceptions around taxes and crypto. Actually, one you just recently touched on right there. That misconception that, look, would the government even know if I'm in crypto anyway? Can I not just like hide in a hole or forget about it and, no harm is going to come my way? Is that a reasonable defense? Like, I personally think that's wrong, but what do you think?
No. So, and the simple answer is if you file, the way the government has solved that problem is that they put a question now on your tax return that basically requires you, under penalty of perjury, it's a big thing in tax forms, that you sign something under penalty of perjury. It's like holding your hand on the Bible in a court of law. And basically you're saying you, Justin, have no income associated with the sale or disposition or sale or exchange of crypto for the year. If you say no, but you really do, then that is no different than any type of fraud. I don't want to use that term too strongly because I think there's like a scary element to all that. But basically, you can't hide behind. So I understand the misconception you just described. So a lot of people, as I said, I think earlier, if you don't get the 1099, you don't get this form that you give to your accountant or that you download into TurboTax, then there's nothing to report. I just like the world works with all this information being given to me. And that is a problem because in the world of crypto, we don't at Coinbase, no exchange today will give you a sale or exchange statement. So our tax center is now set up to give you the information, but we don't send anything to the
Yeah.
government on a 1099. So, but the fact that you don't get it doesn't mean that you're not taxed on it.
Yeah, I would certainly suggest everybody be faithful and honest about their crypto transactions. If you make, transactions on the blockchain, those are forever. Those stick around forever. And trust me when I say that, the IRS, well, you mentioned it, frankly, the IRS is very interested in tracking activity and figuring out who's doing what, because they want to make sure that they're at least collecting their fair value from taxes. You kind of have two people who might be misrepresenting their tax burden to the IRS. One is the people who are trying to be sneaky and get away with it. The other is people that, hey, just didn't think about it and or didn't know it was a burden, or for whatever reason it slipped their mind, or maybe they just didn't know about it, right? The vast majority of people in crypto, they want to pay their taxes, they want to be good citizens. And for them, look, if you did make a mistake in the past, this is a great thing to do, is voluntarily mention it to the IRS, right, and go down this path, and they're going to probably, it's probably going to work out just fine for you.